Welcome to this collective reading. This is TrinityGaiaOracle. At this time, I am wanting to present a reading for the collective every other day in a short, empathic, highly sensitive person short as well. I do seem to be having a bit of a sore throat at this time, so if my voice gets a little, that's why. But I am here, so let's see what is coming through with advice. Things seem to be in a bit of state of almost like a limbo, like the calm before the storm kind of a vibe, like you sense something coming, but there's no wind. All right, so let's see what's in the position of Earth. To be silent and know, to observe what is immovable, what is foundational. Your heart is protected, and there's a sense of belonging to a group of like mind, like spirit, like soul, very sense of feeling very safe and almost, I'm getting a sense of like royalty or position within that is, you know, the heavy is the head that wears the crown kind of a deal. It's not necessarily like you're being fed strawberries and having somebody like fan you with a giant fern. There's expectations, there's responsibilities, there's sacrifices, personal sacrifices, but you have decided it's worth it. There also seems to be a bit of a hangman in your life, kind of looming over this whole thing, watching it. It's in the shadows, though. I mean, it could be a hanged woman, too, but there's an interested party that's not wanting to be directly observed, that is directly observing what's going on with you. In the assertive energies, which I'll read the archetype of the masculine energy as assertive energy and feminine as receptive. This takes the verbiage of gender labeling it out of the equation, allowing you to relate to it not as male, female, but as properties present within each and every one of us. So you may be able to, at least in my personal experience, it allows me to see myself clearer and thus understand how I affect the energies around me clearer as well. Not immediately going, oh, well, there's this person in my life. It must be this person because it was the masculine energy being described. So it kind of opens you up to seeing yourself so you could see others clearer as well. So in the assertive energies here, this is something that is part of your soul contract that's being fulfilled, that's part of the dynamic present. And you can sense that there's this observation that does not necessarily want to be observed directly, but you can sense that it's there, and you know you're protected as you walk this path in your community, building it, nurturing it, knowing that you're protected, that it's grounded, that you're safe, that it's, you know, you're in co-creation, not only within the assertive and receptive energies within self, you're also, you know, in co-creation with the divine and Gaia as well. And there are aspects to this that are coming about that the assertive energy couldn't foresee. So there's a feeling of possibly being a bit surprised in the assertive aspects as well. So if this is you personally, you are knowing that you're fulfilling part of your soul mission, your soul contract in this incarnation, and you are aware that you called for this to come into being, but the divine and Gaia, they are finding ways to surprise you and let you know that you are seen, you are valued, you are loved. That your love and devotion to this path is being reciprocated back to you in kind. The choice to always choose love and light is being returned to you. So as you choose love and light chooses you. Okay. I'm going to pull some here for the receptive energies as well. Ooh, that was way too much. Ooh, okay, we got a couple more than wanted, but let's see what we got here. So in the receptive energy, there is an energetic balance that you are open to that's part of this contract. It's almost the fulfilling of the contract allows this energetic synergy to be present within your life, joy, happiness. And you know that there's abundance coming, that you're receptive to not needing necessarily anyone to help you, but also knowing that should someone have an expertise that you do not, that there's a reason you're aware of that. It's because that person, that resource is there for when you're ready to need that expertise. So you're receptive to this energy that's kind of been in waiting to act for you to like own the independence, if you will. You're receptive to that energy coming in, that energy doing what it does best. It's expertise is not your area of expertise. Okay, so we're going to move into the element of air. Oh, that came out really quick. The element of air. You have dreamed and you have pondered and you have contemplated and you have meditated and you have spent a lot of time healing yourself, connecting with Earth, connecting with, your shadow side, the moon, and going within, connecting with the divine within, the voice that speaks without sound. You have become attuned. You've taken the time to really understand this unique way that the divine speaks to you. And it's hard to describe perfectly because it's so unique. The assertive aspects to this, you cultivated an awareness of the incredible abundance of love that you have within you to offer. You have actively sought this abundance, this awareness. You're finding yourself in a state, though, where you're tired. You're tired and you're ready. You're ready for the next chapter in this story to begin. You fought the battle to get from point A to point B. You've done all of this work, this very courageous work, brave and courageous work. Looking within, doing the shadow work, all of the meditation, the grounding, the mindfulness, the awareness, the connection with Gaia, all of that. And in doing so, you've tamed your your inner demons, if you will, like your inner ego, the subconscious, and all of the things that, can lurk there that even now you're not necessarily aware of. You have an understanding of how to work with this, how to calm this. Okay. You sense that, you're ready for this next chapter because you feel as though in the receptive aspects of this, you're aware that you're at somewhat of a crossroads. And you're aware that you have a decision to make yourself. That, kind of pulling the attention back to this observer that you're aware is there, but not directly. So this energy, it's, at the very least, it's making a judgment of your environment and your decisions on your path. How that may or may not affect you is an unknown to you at this time. So you focus on what you can know, what you can take into consideration, which is your own decisions. And you're where you're at a crossroads in a sense of, if you decide to pull within and not open, not be receptive, you will likely be in a broken heart state. And it may not heal. And you will regret that. You will regret that. But then again, if you choose to fully feel the agony of what it would be like to have this broken heart, to choose the path that you don't want, that won't make you happy, it could very well motivate you to know what's on the other path. It may be scary. Change is always scary. But in even just mindfully contemplating this, because you have such an abundance of love, you have such a unique way of communicating and presenting and being, that spark of the divine. Each and every one of us is unique, and we all are vital. Every single one of us is needed to make the symphony complete. If you're, down a drummer, it'll be apparent when the band is playing that you're down a note or two, or things are a little off. So your light is unique, and you've taken the time to develop that, to bring it to the table. You've done that inner work assertively within self. Now you're at this point where what you are or have been manifesting during all of this work, you're receptive to it coming in. But there seems to be some confusion, because to be receptive to a broken heart, to being disappointed, is not something that you would typically want to find yourself being challenged to do. It seems kind of counterintuitive. But in reality, the avoidance of the awareness of how much that would hurt can bring about the healing and finally pull in that manifestation that you have been manifesting. It's to be unaware of what the shadow side of the path would be and only focus on the sunny side is only seeing one side of the coin. To be fully balanced within the self between assertive and receptive energy, to be aware of what it would mean to you, to go and look and investigate as to what that path would really entail. You have something to learn there that you have not necessarily found yet. You haven't looked there yet. And I understand it's scary and it's emotional and it's intense, and we're all just trying to live our lives. We have other stresses and strains to deal with too. So I will tell you that it's worth it. You've put a lot of energy into this to look at what would happen for you internally if you were to not take that step in the direction that you truly want to go. What would that look like? There is a lesson for you there. There is a pearl of wisdom that you can bring with you as you go on the path you truly know you want. The one that makes you excited and happy and giddy. The one of light and love. Okay. So in the element of fire, let's see what we got here. This would be the will, the passion, the desire, the transformation, what you have alchemized. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so already I'm sensing a transformation of any kind of deceptive energies present within you that could mask themselves as being, graceful and in union with the divine and capable of being firm with boundaries, yet open and receptive. So it could pretend that it's this, but in reality, it's self-serving. It's malicious. It's not even necessarily self-serving of you. It could be an energy influencing you, be it something you inherited from an ancestor, like a wound that your mom didn't heal, or your grandma, or however far back it goes, and it got continually passed down in the generations. So what is the guidance, the wisdom to be gained from this particular Oh, okay. I got it. So this aspect, this energy, these wounds, that weren't necessarily serving you, but were selfishly serving a wound or an aspect of your subconscious or ego, or even it could have been an outside influence completely separate from yourself and your physical environment, or even anyone you've ever met or known. Well, in this life at least. You've taken this energy, you've looked at it directly, and you've said, you know what, you don't have power over me. I have power over how you influence me. So now you kind of like assimilate it into yourself and make it work for you. Being that you've learned the lesson from the challenge that it presented, and you've decided what to keep and what to discard. This is something that, as you go through your spiritual path and you encounter many different sources of knowledge, you'll know what resonates with you and what doesn't, and you'll take what does and you'll leave what does not. It's not a disrespect. You can still have respect for the base of knowledge, be it a book, be it a movie, be it a documentary. But what'll resonate with you is what'll stay with you. The pieces that felt so synchronistic. So it's that kind of a thing. You kept the positive of it, and you kept the awareness of the negative so you could protect yourself, spot it, see it sooner. And this is a very strong indication of your ability to protect yourself, which means you're far more likely to be able to be effective in asserting yourself and reinforcing these boundaries of just not allowing one self to become, okay, So this is probably the better way of saying it. This is probably the better way of saying it. Someone could see someone who is kind and sweet and caring as weak, easy to pick on, no boundaries, easy to take advantage of. You could take their energy. They could see you as kind of an easy victim. However, in this energy, you're choosing to embody the good, but they'll soon encounter that you have very firm boundaries and you don't play around with your energy. So, to those that are highly sensitive and aware as well, that could approach you, to even preempt that with an intention of, in your energy, just to allow yourself to maintain your higher vibration or your happy state, to protect your peace, to just say, look, like, if you want to mess with my energy, if you want to take from me because I am nice, you're not going to be able to affect me. In fact, if you try to take from me anything that you've taken from others, and you can set a date on it, you can set a time limit on it, that energy will leave you. And you won't be able to absorb more for a set period of time. This will challenge that person to seek light and love, the actual source that they're truly hungry the actual source that they're truly hungry for, which is why they came to you, because you're happy and you're vibrant. And they thought you had an abundance that they could just take some. They're not going to think of it that way necessarily. Some may, but a lot of people, this is, and if they are people, a lot of energies, if this is what they're doing, they're not even aware consciously that that's what they're doing. So to have compassion for that aspect, that they could be manipulated in some way, shape, or form, so they're not even consciously aware that they're crossing a boundary. But there's a karmic consequence when you put that out there in your energy, that there's a consequence to try to take from me. There's a consequence. So there's karma involved then. If this is something that you are experiencing, it definitely, just setting the intention in and of itself is incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. And you're balanced within, or you are seeking balance within, or in this process you are inspiring those that are, especially those that are unaware of this dynamic within themselves. You are inspiring them to seek balance by not letting them take from you, by protecting your energy. This is a very attractive quality in somebody who can do this, who is aware of this. And people may not necessarily know why you're suddenly so much more attractive, or what it is about you that calls to them, but someone who's able to protect their energy is far more likely to be able to give equally, to give and take equally in any kind of a relationship, be it friendship, family, acquaintance, even business, and definitely an intimate relationship. Equal give and take is very, very important to having a balance within self, thus outside of self. So, I mean, you have found this way, and if you're not, you're about to, or you're going to maybe try some of what I've suggested here that's worked for me, and I've had it recommended by others as well. Even just the thought of it, just the intention. You don't need anything more than that. Your thought, your will is very strong. You don't need any frills to it. You don't need to do anything necessarily more complex than just truly ask for this, desire it, set that intention. So you're in this state of having alchemized this. You understand that you're balanced within. You're also capable of protecting your energy. So now you get to enjoy creating what you want to see in your world from here on out in this new space of not having your energy constantly taken from you by those you don't want to co-create with. You may have to continually reject some energies for a time because they assumed that you were still interested in co-creating with them, but you can set the boundary there. You will treat me this way. You will respect my energy this way, or you won't be allowed within it or to interact with it. Equal give and take. And this is allowing this new beginning to take root. Now, I know in a reading that I did a couple days ago, there is a couple of different aspects that new beginnings are occurring for you in your life. It's not just in romance or just in business. It can also be something present within a family connection, or maybe you have a project that you're creating that's not necessarily business, but it's a project within you, something you're taking on for you. Possibly like a health thing. Maybe you started learning Taekwondo or Tai Chi, or you're taking some yoga classes. Whatever this is, these new beginnings for you, they're really taking root now because you have protected your energy and you understand better now what is and is not you, and what is and is not other. And of that, what needs healing within self and what is unbalanced, malicious energy outside of self versus love, light within self and externally. All right, so we're going to move into the elements of water. So this would be to feel, to intuitively know. This is also probably going to be one of the it's going to be where that connection with community that came out in the earth position, like really where that emotional connection, those ties are going to be brought into a bit more detail, a bit more clarity as to what they bring to the table and what you bring to the table within the community. How that will be moving forward, as well as possibly some reflection on the past as well. We are human beings. We are social creatures. We thrive when we are in a state of a sense of community. At times, though, especially for people that are going through a hermit mode, because they are so highly sensitive and they're needing to really just go within, being around others can be quite uncomfortable. And maybe you're in that state. Maybe you have just started to come out of that state. Wow, there's not wanting to give me a card for the element of water. Maybe you're just straight channeling it. They're like, you got it. Nope, there we go. There we go. All right. So this community is of other people that, other energies, be they, spirit guides, ascended masters, ancestors even. They have either been assisting, supporting, and helping you along this path of doing that inner work, that shadow work, and really kind of taming the awareness of the inner demons within you to the point now that really whatever has happened, you've alchemized this so that it is making you stronger. You're no longer really feeling as though it is a point of challenge or weakness. You've learned it. Now, you've learned how to work with it. You're always learning and growing. Always, always. And that is a beautiful thing. It's part of how you know you're living life fully, is you're constantly learning. So in the assertive energy, we have this kind of resistance. There was definitely resistance to doing that shadow work and seeing certain aspects of what you like, kind of with this. It's reinforcing this broken heart crossroad, the path that you don't necessarily want to see. I really feel like, though, that it's something that has been you have not been willing to look at it because you've been so focused on protecting the manifestation, your happiness that's on the other side of doing all of this work. You've been so focused there. And it's needed now, which is a great thing. I mean, the reason I say that is because you have reached a point where you don't need to be so protective of that future that you've manifested, because you've manifested it. Now, the only thing that you need to do is to recognize the pain that would have been a part of your world had you not been so protective of it. So you can fully experience all the timelines leading up to this moment, so you can live in the timeline you manifested. Those other timelines, they still need your help, your input, your assistance. It's not necessarily that they're not going to have their happily ever after or their manifestation, right? It's just they're having it at a different time. So other versions of you in the multiverse may still need a little bit of extra support or help. So you're going to need to look at what would have happened if your manifestation hadn't come in now. Now, I know it doesn't necessarily feel like it's here right now, but this is the only thing holding you back from knowing it, from seeing it in the 3D, from having that confirmation that you can't doubt because it's in your face. Exactly. Like, that was such a beautiful, confirmation there that I just had. The Five of Swords inverted come out. No more confusion. You're very receptive to clarity. It's beautiful. I love it when they do that. And divine is definitely present throughout all of this. This is a moment of reinforcement that the divine, Gaia, you left space in your manifestation for them to work with, so they could surprise you to reinforce that your devotion, your choice to always choose love and light when many others would not. Many others possibly couldn't. It's very challenging to be on a journey like this. I'm going to get a couple more on that one. It's very challenging to be on a journey like this. So to reward you for continually choosing love and light, they are showing you love and light and kind. Okay, I understand this. Okay. So it's interesting when you have pretty much every card in a receptive aspect inverted, but it challenges you. It challenges you to open. So, up until this moment, you maybe have not intuitively felt or known or had the concept that your manifestations here. It's just you need to look at what it would be like if you wasn't, if you hadn't brought it in. You need to reflect upon that, because there's a part of you that can't fully lock into choosing this manifestation to come in until you have. So not only is this an invitation to go within yourself and look at this part of you, it's divinely guided. It's of love and light that you do so. You are protected as you do this. You are not alone. You're surrounded by love and light. You have nothing to fear at all in looking inward at this. It's going to be a very empowering and healing experience. Okay. I am kind of being guided to grab a couple more, but from a different deck, different oracle here. Just to kind of summarize everything for you guys here. Maybe a little more info to guide you on this crossroads of looking within to looking at how painful it would have been if you had not brought this manifestation in at this time. It'll allow the fact that it is here to feel more real, because you'll be very aware of what it would have been like if it wasn't. And there's certain things going on for you that you've been kind of like, I don't know, because you've been alchemizing this deceptive energy. So you're trying to really decide where that dividing line is, and this will help you figure that out. It'll help you set the boundary even more to clarify it. All right. Just a couple, 3 cards and a crossing card, please, for advice. Okay. This is not an ordinary situation. You do not have an ordinary soul, and you are being healed. And the other aspects of you that you reach out to that have been manifested are needing your energy to balance, almost as though it's a symbiotic thing. Like whatever you do affects everything else. In particular, this aspect of your soul contract, whether it is a soulmate in that, like a family member, a friend, a romantic situation. This situation requires your energetic contribution to balance and heal, to really come out of that cage, whether you're the one in the cage or they are. To really come out of that bird cage, that space of being protected, and, healed, to fully allow the caterpillar to become the butterfly. And it may require, a bit more of the experience of the pain to fully break out of that cocoon. Now, pain and suffering is never something that, we seek, that we invite, that we long for. But I will say that you have figured out how to alchemize deceptive energies that most certainly were hurting you in some way, shape, or form. So this is you in love and light. This is not deceptive, manipulative stuff. This is honest, loving, healing. It's like a wound that you need to purge before you can, you need to like clean it out before it can heal. It's a very similar aspect to it. This is a very good thing. You're not going into a deceptive situation here. You're not going into devil energy and giving it your energy. You're giving more energy and love and light to yourself. And those that you have, contracts with in this life, your light is needed. Ah, perfect. Okay, that was beautiful. So I will mention that here at the bottom of this deck, we have the key is balance within and without, connection to earth as well as to divine, connection to Gaia as well as divine. And to find the space in between where you know that you can interact with these other aspects of self, these other soul contracts, to find the middle place, the things you have in common. And once you get there, be willing to release all expectation of specific details, really. If this is a person and you know who they are, okay, but maybe you don't know what's been going on in their life for a while, or maybe it's a project and you know where you want it to go, but you don't know all the little steps that'll take you from point A to point B. These little steps to take you from point A to point B, try not to have expectation about that. Allow yourself to be surprised, to discover the path, to enjoy it, to live it, to not feel like you need to know it before it happens. Because then are you really living it? Is it really organic? This is a new beginning. Be happy with that reassurance from divine. Know that it is good for you, that it is meant for you, that it is made, tailor-made for you. And not knowing all the details allows you to enjoy it, to be surprised. It's like having a specific wine paired with a specific culinary dish. There's a reason they're paired, but you won't necessarily know until you have them simultaneously. The dish itself is delicious, the wine itself is delicious, but if you have a bite of food and you have that flavor still on your palate and you take a sip of the wine, you will suddenly understand why they are paired together. They complement one another. It's that taste bud surprise moment that is the gift. That is the divine saying, here is the gift for the gift you have given me. Your continual choice to feed love and light in your life, to choose love and light, to choose me, to choose the divine. All right, and that will conclude today's reading for the collective. I do hope that this brought some peace, some verification to your own discernment, and allowed you to have some guidance, some food for thought, some questions to kind of turn inward and maybe, seek some guidance yourself in communication with divine. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. Namaste.